All right, sports fans, it's Saturday morning, early morning. Welcome to the GT Sports Keep It 100 podcast. This is the podcast where we talk professional and college sports. And coming to you this morning to talk about the NBA Finals, game number two between my San Antonio Spurs and the New York Knicks. Unfortunately, we lost um, last night. So New York leads the series 2-0. Very disappointed. I was going to come on last night, but I was a little pissed um, at what I was seeing. So I wanted to come in and do this little podcast video just to kind of give you my 2 cents and recap it in a sense and what talk about what I saw and what I didn't see. Um, and so we'll just go straight into the game. Very disappointing to see. I mean, the Spurs, I think, came out with some energy. Again, they had a lead early, um, and then they just completely fall apart again. They just take bad shots, um, and they commit a lot of mistakes. And that could come with the youth and inexperience. I'm not sure. I know that I think Mitch Johnson. I don't know that he's ever been in an NBA Finals. I know as a head coach he has. I don't know about an assistant. I don't think he has. And most of the players here have never been in an NBA Finals. Victor Wembanyama, Dylan Harper, Spawn Castle. So maybe this is one where they got to get their ass whipped to figure things out. I don't know. New York seems to be in total control of this series. After two games, um, to me, the Spurs do not look like a team that has figured it out in two games. I don't know if they'll be able to figure it out here going into game three. Um, but I did like the fight at the very end of the game. They could have easily lost by 15 plus. And I give them a lot of credit for the fight to come back. Things were not going their way, and they found a way to even take the lead late in the game. That it looked like for a moment there that they were going to be able to pull this out. And I thought, wow, they pulled this out, and they really did, with all these mistakes. But then down the stretch, you see more mistakes from them. And look, if you are going to continue to make these type of mistakes against a really good New York team, you're not going to win. And I think the Spurs are just making it difficult for them to get a win, right? With the mistakes. And when I talk about the mistakes, I'm talking about fouling a guy in the corner, giving him three free throws. I mean, that's just not thinking right. Fouling him, and replay shows you hit him in the hand. I mean, I'm talking about stuff like that, and just a lot of other stuff down the stretch. Not understanding the situation, wanting to run. Communication really bad, turning the ball over at the very end when it's a tie game and you can take it down and take the final shot, and then when you turn the ball over, you foul and put Brunson onto the a good free throw shooter, and then they end up. I think it was Brunson that got in there and to free throw at the end, and they're up by one, and then just the final shot. And I'll talk about all of that. But at the end of the day, the Spurs look out of sync for most of the game, and you're not going to win that away, right? But again, the fight back was awesome to see. That showed me they had a lot of fight, which I already knew these guys did, but just came up a little short. So, what do I think about the game? I'll start with Victor Wembanyama. Victor, he's the man, and again, this is just my opinion. You can agree or disagree with me. That's why it's keep it 100 because I tell you what I feel. That doesn't mean it's facts and it's right. It's just what I feel and how I see it. My opinion. Victor Wembanyama played 40 minutes. He played 29. I'm sorry. He played 40 minutes, 29 points, 11 of 21 from the field goal, 2 of 6 from 3 points. So again, a bad shooting night from 3 point land. It didn't seem to me throughout the game that he inserted himself until very late. Something clicked into Victor toward the end of the game where you see him kind of real talking, I think during a timeout, being, verbally, I don't question this guy wanting to win, right? But it took him pretty much to the end of the game to really insert himself, get physical inside, which is something I've been saying after game one. You've got to get physical. They're going to get physical with you. You've got to get physical back, right? And so even though he had 29 points, a lot of that, he really inserted himself, making his presence toward the end a little too late. I still had a chance to win, but I thought I would have loved to have seen that aggression, that aggressiveness from Victor at the start throughout the game. I thought if he'd have done it that way, look, they can't guard him. I wish he understood that. He's just, first of all, you're the tallest guy on the court, and he's just not a tall body. He's a very athletic 7'4". He can move, he can shoot. He's just a nightmare for anybody else. Mitchell Robinson cannot guard you, Victor Wembanyama. He's not in your league. He's not. He's not. He's a big body, yes, but he's not as athletic as you are. I mean, he would be able to dominate him. Even a guy like Karl Anthony Towns would have trouble guarding you. And I wish he understood this. You know, you get the ball down low to Victor Wembanyama in the block, they're going to foul him 9 times out of 10. Yes, there's going to be times where they're going to make a great play. Yes, there's going to be times when Victor's going to take a shot and it's not going to go in. He's not going to get the rebound. But the presence down low, that they have to account for you down. They don't want to see you down there. You're a handful for them. And I think when you play down, whether you get 10, 12, 15 points in the paint and down low, there's a very good chance that you're going to accumulate foul trouble to Karl Anthony Towns. We saw that last night, Mitchell Robinson. But it opens up plays for your other shooters, right? When you're down low, the offense has to go through Victor Wembanyama, right? And so I don't like him outside there. I thought most of the game he stood around. He was looking for the pass instead of being aggressive. And that got us behind, right? I mean, it just did. It just did. I mean, when this offense, when he's aggressive and he's playing at high, Vassell and Champagne, they're going to get their open threes, right? And so I just felt like Victor was not aggressive, was not looking for the shot coming out. I thought he was going to come out and be more aggressive, and really take it to the Knicks defense. That did not happen till late, and it cost us. And now we're down 0-2. So the 29 points seems like he did good, but really, for most of the game, his presence, he was ineffective, and that has to change. I thought Vassell and Champagne, their game is get yourself into the corner, get yourself into your 3-point spots, and let them pass that ball to them, and that's their game. They shoot. When they get run off that 3-point and they dribble once or twice, and then they stop to try to shoot, 9 times out of 10 they're going to miss it, because that is not their game, right? These guys need to get to their spots. And like I said, if you're down low and they've got to double team you, and Victor's a very good passer, I think you got to find Champagne and Vassell in their shots to hit those threes. That's their game. So there was a lot of they didn't get a lot of open shots. Now the reason they didn't get the open shots or the looks that they needed was because Victor wasn't being aggressive. There was no reason that, I mean, you're out on the out. They're going to let you take that three. They'll let you make 4 threes. That's not going to beat them, right? They'll give you that shot that they're not worried about that. They're going to stay with the shooters. They know the Champagne can get hot. They know the Vassell, what he likes to do. So listen, if you're going to be out there passing, that's two of your best shooters on the team. They're pretty much done for the night, right? And when they shoot, it's contested threes, and look, the Knicks will live with that. Well, they may make a couple, but they ain't going to beat us, right? Because we're right on them. They've got no open look. So Vassell and Champagne played 36 minutes, 8 points, 2 for 6 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3-point range. The 3-point is their game. He was ineffective. Vassell a little better, but not good enough. 38 minutes played, 14 points, 4 of 9 from the field, 3 of 7. From 3-point range. So your 2 best 3-point shooters ineffective the whole game. Going to be tough to win game 2. Stephon Castle, 28 minutes, 14 points, 5 of 14 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3-point range. Not a good 3-point shooter like Vassell and Champagne. Yet again, though, he can't hit that 3. Missed a couple of easy shots inside. He had some layups. Just didn't make them. I love his game. I love Castle's game. I think he's aggressive. I mean, he's a tough dude to defend. Just struggled at the start of the game with some easy buckets. I think that got into his head somewhat. I love his aggressiveness on defense, but you're going to learn that you got to get a feel for what the refs are calling. Right? You can't just be aggressive. You got to understand the flow of the calling of the game. If some refs are going to be, we're not going to let you get physical, then you got to play off of that a little bit, right? You've got to stay in the game. You cannot get yourself into foul trouble. So I think as good as he is, as good as he's going to be, because I think he's going to be a great, great player in the NBA, he's still got to learn the flow, the call of the game, right? Sometimes he just goes one mode, doesn't understand the physicality. Sometimes different referees are going to let you bump, let you get up in his face. They're not going to bail him out. Others are going to be different. And I still think he hasn't quite figured out the flow, the call of the game, right? Which gets him into some foul trouble. When Castle sits down, man, it's not good for the Spurs. The other thing is, I don't want to see this guy coming down with the ball. He's not a point guard this year, right? I don't know if he can ever get there or not, but he's very careless with the ball. We turn the ball over a lot. You can't give the Knicks extra possessions, right? This team is going to hurt you. It's just too hard defensively to stop these guys. They're too talented, right? So when you turn the ball over, when you stretch your arm out, and a lot of these calls, man, I'm looking at it. I mean, you're extending your arm. They're going to call the offensive foul, and we still haven't figured that out yet, right? And just those type of calls, whether they're minimal or whether they're a lot, they hurt. Possession goes over to the Knicks, another possession, right? We didn't get any points. It is hard to win that way. So I thought Castle, I don't know that he got into a lot of foul trouble. I can't remember. I think he did somewhat because he sat out for a certain period of time. But Castle not being in that game, playing 28 minutes, we need him more on the field, on the court, right? More than 28 minutes. So I think his play and the minutes that he played hurt us, right? And those are some of the things I think he's going to figure out eventually. This is his first year, playing in the finals, but those are things that hurt us, right? When you're not getting, if they're going, how physical they're going to let you be, you got to be able to adapt your game to the way they're officiating the game. So 28 points, 28 minutes played, 14 points isn't going to do it, right? Makes it harder on the Spurs to try to win this game. So there you go for the starters, right? It just didn't. I mean, Fox played better tonight. He was 34 minutes, 20 points, 8 of 12 from the field, from the field, 2 of 2 from 3-point range. So that was a plus from game one. Fox really struggled in game one. He's the veteran. He needs to be able to play this way every game, right? I mean, because as good as Castle is, and as good as those other guards are, he's the veteran, right? He's the one that comes in with the experience. And so I thought it was nice to see him come back and have a great game. I really got on him in my other podcast in game one, but he came back with 20 points, shooting a lot better than he did in game one. And look, we're going to need Fox to be this plus better in New York if they want to win game three. Fox got to have this type of game or better to be able to somehow get that game three win. So Fox really throughout the game played better, and I love to see that. The bench, we were horrible on the bench. Harrison Barnes played 5 minutes, 0 points. Keldon Johnson, I don't know where Keldon Johnson is. He has not shown up for the playoffs whatsoever. He played 16 minutes, gave us 3 points. Bryant didn't play very much, so I'm going to give him a little pass here. I like this kid. He's big. Maybe he's not as experienced enough yet. I love when he defends. He's still young, obviously making some mistakes, but I love this kid. I think he's going to be great in the years to come. He's very athletic, very talented, but played 3 minutes, gave us nothing, but only played 3 minutes. And then Luke Cornett, 8 minutes, 1 point. Dylan Harper has been the only guy in 2 games off the bench for the Spurs who has been effective, has put his prints on these games in 1 and 2. In game 2, he played 32 minutes, 15 points, 6 of 12 from the field. He was 0-3 from 3-point range, but he's the only guy that off the bench that is giving some production for the Spurs. The other guys outside of Harper, 30 plus minutes, 3 points, 30 plus minutes on the court. And all you're getting from them in those 31, 32 minutes of the bench is 3 points. That is not going to win us the game. We're getting no help from the bench. On top of the fact that when Wembanyama goes out defensively, right, and we're up 8, we're up 10, quickly it goes from 10, 12, 8 to 2, 4. I mean, they quickly get inside the paint. They're starting to drive. They're getting shots inside the paint. They're getting rebounds. And that a lead, whatever it is, 10, 12, 9, 8, whatever it is, it quickly comes down to 2, 4 a point lead. And then Victor Wembanyama comes back. So what am I saying? I'm saying that when Victor sometimes gets out, we've got a good, comfortable lead. We're in a flow. That second unit comes in and we completely fall apart. And so when Victor Wembanyama comes back, it's a closer game. We've got to get more production from the bench, right? And we're not. Listen, if it's me, the hell with the rotation, right? We've got to win some games here. Dylan Harper is young. He can play the whole game if need be. Wembanyama, I understand he has to get rest. He's getting pounded on. And, you know, when you got these big bodies like Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson, and they're pounding you, regardless of running up and down and having to exert that energy up and down the court, just the banging inside, it tires you out. Wembanyama, to me, seems throughout the game that he gets tired. You got to get inside the weight room in the summer. You got to put in some muscle because they're going to get physical with him. Defenders cannot guard him. He's too athletic at 7'4", right? He can do pretty much anything on that court, and they know that. They know they can't go one-on-one with this guy. He is a beast, but they do the one thing that he probably doesn't like, and we're gonna be physical with you. We're just gonna pound you and pound you and pound you, and throughout 4 quarters, it wears you down, right? And he looks fatigued a lot of the times, and I think it hurts him on the defensive side, right? What he can cover, how much he can go, right? Because he gives a lot of energy, tries to block every shot. And that's something he's going to have to learn to adjust to. So, you know, getting him inside, putting more muscle on him inside, is really going to help him, because once he understands what they want to do and he can adapt to that physicality, watch out, because his skill set, there's no other big man in the league, in the NBA league, on any team that can guard this guy. His skills is amazing. So I think that is something else in the future that Wembanyama is going to definitely have to work on. But I think Mitch Johnson needs to shorten that rotation, right? Because you played these guys in game 1, you played them in game 2, basically did the same thing, and got no production. So I don't understand why these guys are out there playing for you. They're 30-something minutes. I know you got to give other people rest, but they're hurting us, completely hurting us. We're getting nothing from these guys whatsoever. So in game 3, maybe you shorten that rotation. I don't know how that all works out, but you know, these guys are young outside of Victor Wembanyama. They got to play more. I play the starters. You know, I'm definitely playing Dylan Harper, but the rest of that rotation, you go back to it in game 3 and you're going to get the same results, right? You're not going to get anything because Cornet is giving you nothing offensively. Keldon Johnson is one, I think, that can get you some production, has not shown up in games 1 and 2. I know Barnes has some experience, but no points either. You've got to get people off the bench. You've got to find some way to get production from the bench. If that's a totality outside of Harper, Harper comes off the bench, he's going to give you points. He can give you 15, 20, 25, right? You know what you're going to get from Dylan Harper. He imposes himself into the game. Love this kid's game, man. Love this kid's game. I'm excited about watching him continue to grow. That was a great selection because this kid, man, he's arrived, right? Like I mean, he's young. He comes off the bench, and he's aggressive. He takes the ball to, yes, he gets it blocked at times. Yes, they get the best of him, but he also gets the best of them. What I love from Dylan Harper is he's aggressive. He's not shying away from the contact. I'm going to go at you and I'm going to go, and I'm here to stay, right? And he gets some big plays and he gets himself fouled, right? He's putting pressure on that defense. He's not waiting around. I need Victor Wembanyama to be like Dylan Harper. Make them foul you, make them defend you. Do not sit on this outside. You cannot be passing the ball. You have to understand, Victor Wembanyama, that you've got to be the dude. You've got to put pressure on them. And yes, you're going to get pounded and you're going to get slapped on and you're going to, going to get knocked down to the floor, but they can't guard you. That's got to be your mentality. Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson do not have the skill set that you have at 7'4". You have height over them. Get in there and bang with these guys, right? And I think part of that is it just wears him down too much. So maybe that's why Mitch Johnson has him outside. I'm not sure why he's not in there, but I think if he had a low post, if we had a low post presence continually throughout these games, I think that's going to work in our favor. And eventually they're going to have to defend. And I think we can get the best of them. I'll go back to the past of the Spurs. Tim Duncan was not as athletic as Victor Wembanyama in terms of being able to dribble and shoot the three. Victor Wembanyama skill set is multiple to what Tim Duncan can do. But the one thing Tim Duncan was a low post presence. He was the fundamental. And why did they call him fundamental? Because he did the same thing consistently, right? He wasn't flashy. He just got the job done. But he played low post. He understood his game, right? He just people having to defend him was tough, right? It was no one could really defend a Tim one-on-one. And if you double team, he was really good. And he had his shooters, right? He had Bowen, he had Kerr, he had Ori in some of these championships that they won. These guys just stood out there waiting for the ball. Kerr wasn't dribbling. Steve Kerr understood what his role was with the Spurs, right? They always had these shooters, but it worked through Tim Duncan, right? And then he had to make the decision to go one-on-one, to bank it off the glass, or make that pass to get that shot. Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili were the slashers, right? Manu's a lot like Dylan Harper's a lot like Manu, right? He can take it inside and cause problems for you. He can shoot the three. Tony Parker was that slasher, man. He's a guy that broke the defense down. He was quick. He could just get inside the teeth of the defense, the meat, I should say, of the defense. And then he found that play, whether it was him laying it up, getting fouled, 3-point play, making the layup, or finding those open shooters, right? And we don't have an inside presence, right? And that's hurting us in this finals, right? Let me say this: that low post presence that we had ended up giving us 5 championships. 5. We won with low post presence down there, having a low post guy that made it difficult for the opposing teams to have to defend that low post player. By the way, Tim Duncan was pretty damn good, right? But the result was 5 championships. You can win that away. Victor's got to change his game. I'm not saying he's got to be inside the whole time. I know he loves being on the outside. He sometimes can shoot the three for a big man, but you got to get inside. You've got to be able to get physical. When we shoot the ball and we miss, there's no one there to rebound. We're one and done. And that we need offensive, we need second chance points to win, right? Like we need guys. So until we change that, we're not going to win the series. We can't win. We can't beat New York with the offense that we're running now. It doesn't matter. We get hot. We can get hot and maybe win one game, maybe 2, but we're not winning the series. We're not beating the New York Knicks with this type of offense, which now takes me to Mitch Johnson. I don't know much about Mitch. I mean, look, he got us to the NBA Finals, so I'm not going to criticize him, get on my podcast and say he's no good. I'm not going to do that because to get to the NBA Finals, you're doing something right, right? So is he a bad coach? Absolutely not. Is he getting out coached by Mike Brown in this NBA Finals? Absolutely, he is, right? And it's not over, and he's still learning. And so I'm not going to come on here and say all kinds of bad things about him. He's a young coach who's learning, right? Just like his players. And look, it's a tough way to learn, because you're getting your ass kicked. This is a tough lesson for Victor Wembanyama, for all these young Spurs, right? Because they're not accustomed to getting their ass kicked. They're accustomed, they're used to kicking ass. And through two games in the NBA Finals, man, you're getting your ass kicked, right? Not only are the players getting their ass kicked, Mitch Johnson is getting his ass kicked. That's not a good feeling, right? And maybe you got to go through that to get better. You know, I saw Shaq get a swept when he was young and he played for the Orlando Magic. I saw LeBron James. These are great players, right? He got swept by San Antonio when he played for Cleveland. I mean, it happens. I think I remember. I'm hoping I'm saying this correctly if I remember. But even when Shaq and Kobe were with the Lakers, they got swept by Detroit, right? They weren't rookies, but they got swept. Great players go through this. Maybe this is something that Victor Wembanyama has to go through. I think the Spurs are going to be better for what they have experienced down the road. I mean, I'll definitely say that this is a great team. I love my Spurs no matter what, right? I'm venting a little bit here. But moving forward, right, Victor's got to play inside because I just don't think that they can guard him. I don't think there's anybody in the league that can guard this guy. Does he have to play down, like I said, in the post every possession? Absolutely not. But he's got to get down there because they can't guard him. And teams don't want to see, look, when you're down there getting the ball in the paint, that's going to be some physicality down there. You got to bump. But I guarantee you, it's going to be advantage San Antonio. When they did go down, Karl-Anthony Towns got himself in some foul trouble. He had to sit for a certain period of time. This is what I'm talking about. You take one of their best players out and sit him because of foul trouble. That's advantage San Antonio. You have an advantage there. You can take advantage like they take advantage of you. Stephon Castle sits out, man. They get happy that, okay, man, this guy, they don't want to see Castle up there because they know the way he plays. He's on them. He's aggressive. They don't want to see that. So when he gets himself into the foul trouble and he sits down, this is really good for them. They want to see him sitting because that helps them and their offense. This is exactly what the Spurs need to do to their guys through two games. That is not what has happened. Our offense looks like it's out of sync. There's a lot of second guessing. We're not in a flow. We're not in a flow as a team. One player may get into a flow. We saw Dylan Harper get into a flow in game one. We saw De'Aaron Fox play better and got into a little bit of a flow in game two. But where's everybody else? You can't beat the New York Knicks with one or two guys. We've got to play our game. And I don't know. Going into game three, can the Spurs figure it out? I don't know. My guess right now is no, right? The way that I've seen them play, absolutely not. They made a comeback. Yes. It was great to see. I think that if Victor Wembanyama comes out in game three and says, you know what, I'm gonna exert myself into this offense early on, and I'm gonna beat. I don't know that he can do that. But that is the only way that I see that the Spurs can get back. It's going to start with him, right? Because if he's not aggressive, if he's not, trying to set the tone early, and I'm not talking about sitting out here hitting those threes. I'm talking about inside physicality, challenging Karl-Anthony Towns offensively, us, the Spurs on offense, Victor Wembanyama challenging down low in the post, in the paint, taking Karl-Anthony, making him guard you, or Mitchell Robinson. If that doesn't happen, then we're going to have to be hot on the threes. But again, those shooters, they stay out there, they stay on these guys, and you're seeing the results of the way Vassell is playing and the way Champagne's playing. They've got to get going with the three. I think Dylan Harper and De'Aaron Fox, Dylan did a good job game 1 and 2 to get inside the paint. He was aggressive. De'Aaron Fox, the same thing. Those guys got to continue doing that, but they're going to need help from everybody else. But it starts with Victor Wembanyama, and he's got to understand this, right? If you're going to be out here, out in the three-point area, passing the ball, trying to get somebody else, Dylan Harper could score 40. That is not going to be enough to beat them, right? Because they're shutting everybody else down. If you look at the offense for New York, Jalen Brunson in this game, their best player, to me, 38 minutes he played, 20 points, 7 of 25 shooting, 2 of 8 for 3-point. That is exactly what you want from Jalen Brunson. I said early on before the season started, before the series started, that if you can keep them under 25 points, they got a good chance to win. They have done that in game 2. This is not good shooting for a guy that usually gets 30 plus. 20 points tonight, 7 of 25 from the field for Jalen Brunson. 2 of 8 from 3-point range. This is exactly what you want for this guy. This gives the Spurs an opportunity to win. The problem, turnovers, mistakes. You can't make these mistakes. And again, it's a young group. Maybe they're learning on the fly. I don't know. But they hurt themselves. They make the game harder for themselves to come out with the W with the mistakes. And I don't know, it's a lack of focus at that time, right? Understanding the situation, understanding what the Knicks are trying to do to you, and you got to be able to play that. Not to mention, you got to be able to adapt to the way. You may not like certain calls. I see them, you're picking up their hands. What are you doing? Well, you're extending your elbow. That's what's happening. Offensively, you look at the replay, you're extending your arm out and you're pushing, whether they're flopping or not. The extension of the elbow, of the arm, they're going to call it every time. So you're helping the officials make these calls, right? We're fouling guys that are at the 3-point, hitting their arms and you're putting them up there for 3 shots. It makes it difficult for you to win. The Spurs could have won game 2, even when they didn't play as aggressive until toward the last couple of minutes in the fourth quarter where they became aggressive. They still gave themselves a chance to win playing like that. It's a very dangerous team. You saw they went on like a 14-0 run. So it's in the Spurs to do it. It's in their DNA to do that. They just got to be able to do this for 4 quarters, and they have not been able to come close to doing that. And this is why the Knicks are up 2-0. The Knicks aren't necessarily better. The experience may be there, yes, but they're not necessarily this much better than the Spurs. The Spurs are hurting themselves, and they've just got to come back and regroup. Now, can they take game 3? Absolutely, they can. Are they going to take it? From what I've seen in game 1 and 2, I don't think that they will. And I'm saying this because they play better at home. They are going to be at Madison Square Garden. They're going to get energy from their fans, right? Jalen Brunson is going to play better at Madison Square Garden. He's not going to end up with 20 points at Madison Square Garden. He's going to play better. Their role players are going to play better than they did in San Antonio. So what does that mean for San Antonio? You got to come with the best game you played in the playoffs to win game 3. Everyone's going to have to chip in, and it's going to start with Victor Wembanyama. Can it get done? Yes. Will it get done? If I go back to the 2 games that I've seen here, absolutely not. Because if they play game 3 the way they played game 1 and 2, they're going to go down 0-3 and possibly get swept. That's a fact. So I don't know what to expect from my Spurs in game 3. Mitch Johnson needs to coach a lot better. I don't know if he can do that from game 2 to 3. The players got to play a lot better. They got to limit the turnovers. They got to limit these mistakes. Can they do that? I don't know. I don't know if things can change. I mean, you play the game. I think the Spurs are good enough. They're talented enough to play with New York, but the mistakes and the way that they do things, the way that they have played game 1 and 2 against this New York Knicks, they won't win game 3 if they play the same way, because the Knicks are going to play better. Their role players are going to play better. They're going to feed off of their energy, and that crowd at Madison Square Garden, they haven't won an NBA Finals since I think 71, 73, 2, something like that. They're hungry for one. They can feed it. So their fans are going to be going crazy. So not only do the Spurs need to play a good New York team, they're going to fight the crowd, the noise. Can they do it? I don't know. My guess is if I was a betting man, I love my Spurs. This is I want the Spurs to win. When I started this podcast, I'm going to be straight with you, right? I'm going based on what I've seen and what I believe is going to happen. So when I pick the Knicks to win game 3, it's not because I want them to win. It's not because I'm not a Spurs fan. It's because I want the Spurs to win. I am a San Antonio Spurs fan. But when I come on this podcast, I'm also going to be realistic. I'm going to keep it 100. And if I was a betting man for game 3, I'd bet that my Spurs aren't going to win based on what I've seen them play, the way I've seen Victor play, the way I've seen Mitch Johnson coach. Doesn't give me any confidence that they can win game 3, right? They're going to have to play their best game of the playoffs to win game 3 against the New York Knicks. And do they have it in them? I hope they do. But like I said, if I was a betting man, I'd say no. I don't think they're going to be doing it based on what I have seen from coaching to the way the players have played. They just make it too difficult for them. And with the mistakes that they're making, you're not going to beat a New York team. New York's going to be a lot better in game three in New York than they were in game one and two in San Antonio, and they got those wins. So listen, guys, as much as I hate to say this, this is looking like a sweep. I hope I'm wrong, but it's definitely trending and looking that way. But again, I'll finish it off like this. I'm very proud of my Spurs. It's a hard lesson to learn, right? You don't want to get swept. You don't want to get your ass kicked in the NBA Finals. You, as a fan, expect better from your team, but in reality, we weren't ready for the NBA Finals, and that doesn't take away from the season that we had. Because a lot of times I've heard people say, and I believe this, we're ahead of schedule. I've even heard some of the ex-Spurs players who have won championships say they didn't expect the Spurs to be in the finals this year, right? They thought maybe they were still 1 or 2 years away. So sometimes, maybe this ass whipping, as hard as it is for them to take, and for us to see our team take, right? Maybe, when it's all said and done, and if we don't come back to win this finals, maybe it's going to make them, it's going to fuel them. That ass whipping, obviously, going into the offseason, if it continues to go this way, isn't going to be to the liking of Victor Wembanyama and those guys. So that if we get swept in this series, or we end up losing this series, right, that is fuel for you all off season to get ready for next year and win, because you got a taste of the NBA Finals. Maybe that ass whipping is something that we need to get us better than what we at this year, come back stronger, get ourselves back in the NBA Finals next year and win it, right? It's not over yet. It's not over till it's over. So I'm not saying that the series is over, but it's going to be hard. Game three is going to be very, very hard. And for the Spurs to win game three, because I'm just looking at game three next, Mitch Johnson needs to come up with a game plan. He needs to change what he's been doing. If he goes into game three like he did game one and two, it's over. And so he has to make some changes. We'll see what kind of changes he makes, if he makes any changes. And like I said, the players, they've got to pretty much play mistake-free basketball, meaning Victor's got to become aggressive. He's got to carry this team to a victory in game three. It starts with him. And then we can't turn the ball over, and we can't make stupid mistakes. And if we do that, then we give ourselves a chance. But it's going to be tough because the Knicks are going to be ready, and they're going to play a lot better than they did in game one and two. At least those are my thoughts. So that is my rant this morning. I wanted to come on last night, but I was pissed. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love the Spurs. I support them, and so obviously when maybe I should have came on, because you could have seen more of emotion, because I was really pissed last night. But I said, nah, you know what? I'm just gonna kind of look at the stats, check out some interviews from Mitch Johnson and Victor Wembanyama, and hear what they have to say. I'll get a good night's sleep. I'll come back early in the morning and I'll do my podcast. So sometimes you'll see me most emotional. Sometimes I'll come out after a loss, and that's, I think, where I'm better with the podcast, because I'm feeling that emotion and I talk with that emotion, and that's good for podcasting, I guess. I was still pissed off this morning. I cooled down somewhat, but I'm still upset over that. But when I look at this team and look at what they accomplished, I also tell myself it's a young group that's learning. They're learning on the fly, and maybe you got to get your ass whipped sometimes to learn. And right now, the Spurs are being taught a tough lesson. Not only the players, but the coaching staff as well. But I love my team. I love where we're at. I love the selections. I love these players, and we're going to be good. So for all those fans who get on social media and dog the Spurs, I understand it comes from a place where you want to win. But look, this team is good, regardless if we win this series or not. We've got a great team. The fan base is great, and look, we're going to be around for a very, very long time, very, very competitive. So I'm not worried about that. So let's just worry about game three. Let's make the adjustments that we mean. Let's go out there and play the best we can play. Have some fun out there, and hopefully, when it's all said and done, the Spurs can get game three in New York. Yeah, I'll say this before I go: if they somehow win game three, that would be huge. That would be huge if they win game three, because even though they're still down the series, man, momentum. Sometimes if you can show yourself, hey man, we can go beat you at your place, that puts a lot of confidence. So if you're the New York Knicks, you don't want to give that confidence to this young team. They don't know any better, right? So you want to come out. In some ways, you want to win. You do not want to lose game three, because if these guys can beat you in game three somehow, That could be very dangerous, man. This Spurs team, they're dangerous. They don't know any better. I think Victor Wembanyama said they don't know that they need to go up and lose game three, right? Their mentality is different, and if they can figure some things out, and they can keep it close in game three, you never know what can happen. Look at this shot. I mean, that shot from Victor Wembanyama was a good shot, but you also saw they could have gotten two shots in that 7 almost 8 second span. So, and that's just something you have to learn. You take a quick shot, you're down one. If you miss it, you can get the rebound. If you don't get the rebound, you can foul. If they hit the two free throws, you still got another shot for a 3-point play. So that's the way most coaches would have drawn it up. Mitch went to go different. He said, I'm going to go one shot. I'm going to go with Victor Wembanyama. He did have the open look. And if he hits it, the Spurs are tied in the series. He didn't hit it. And that happens sometimes. And so now you just got to move on to the next a game. So game three, I think, is on Monday. We'll see what ends up happening. I won't come back and talk NBA until after game one, which is on Monday. So it'll probably, I don't know. We'll see how they play. They're going to New York. So we'll see if I'll come on afterwards. If not, the next day I'll come in and talk and recap and give you my thoughts after game three. And enjoy the day. It's going to be a beautiful Saturday here. Went out already early this morning, got some breakfast. Man, I think it was kind of sprinkling. I'm probably going to get some rain here, a little cloudy. But I'm going to be inside most of the time working on other stuff. So enjoy the rest of the day. And we'll see you guys soon.